Hey, what's up, world? Welcome to Snack Size, the podcast that will drag you into your most fabulous life. I'm your host, Lala Luscious, also known as the snack of the Twin Cities. I decided for myself that I can be whatever I want to be, so I decided to be a drag queen. And if I can live my dreams, you can too. The time has come to believe in yourself enough to turn your ideas into more than mere words. And no matter what you are doing in life or where you want to go, I want to help you get there. Fabulously. Our double snack episode starts now. Hey snacks! We are on episode 3 of Snack Size, and today I'm doing my very first double snack. Double snack episodes are a little longer than my usual episodes, but I will be bringing on special guests. For this double snack, I want you to hear the perspective of another drag performer who I perform with in the Twin Cities. She performs as a drag king as well as a drag diva. A drag diva in the drag community is a female performance artist who amplifies her femininity to the utmost level and creates an illusion of grandeur very similar to that of a drag queen. In addition to drag, this guest has an extensive performing resume, which includes appearances with big-name bands, dance troupes, circus caravans, and traveling tours. So please give a snack-size welcome to my very first guest, my dear friend, Kitty. When I originally planned this episode, I hoped to have Kitty here with me in the studio today, but due to social distancing, she will be joining us remotely. So let's give her a call. Hi, Kitty. Welcome to Snack Size.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being my first guest. Super exciting to have you. For those of you who are listening, Kitty and I know each other from a fabulous performing group called the Red Hot Rascals.
Hot Rascals.
Yes, we are like a quirky cabaret performing group. We got dancers and magicians and hula hoop artists, all different types of things, and we perform all over the Twin Cities. So as soon as Miss Rona lets us perform again, we're going to be out there doing it. So Kitty is one of our drag kings, and also in the show that did not happen because of the virus, you were going to be one of our divas as well. You and I both wear a lot of different hats. So I know that you're a busy person, I'm a busy person, and drag has helped us in all the aspects of our life. And so I want you to start by talking about your day-to-day life, and then tell us about your different characters and how you develop them.
First off, I'm really honored to be your first guest, Lala. So thank you.
Oh, of course.
I appreciate you. My name, as you already mentioned, is Kitty. And my normal day job, I'm a small business owner of an empowerment and fitness event style company. So I do something called rebounding, which are these cool boots that bounce and save your joints. And we travel around to breweries and do private parties, things like that, to bring this new and fun fitness thing to people. And then I'll also, on the flip side of that, I do a lot of entertaining and performing as a character performer. And I also do 2 podcasts, as well as I'm a puppy parent of 3. Yeah, I have 3 little teddy bears, little Ewoks that just rule my home.
Well, how long have you been performing?
Okay, let's see. But let's just say 2 decades.
Oh my goodness.
I love performing. It really, it's something that I've known from a really young age that I wanted to do, and I just continue to follow it.
So in terms of your character, I know you have 2, which I think is amazing. Christopher, Tracy, and Bayonet. How did you develop those characters?
So Christopher came first, and I had a lot of friends who were drag kings, and they actually asked me to start choreographing some performances for them. And as I was choreographing these performances, they were finding out so much about themselves and who they were by stepping into these different characters. And from there, I almost felt really strongly that I too could find deeper, maybe secret pieces of myself by stepping into this character that I knew was a part of me. So Christopher really was born due to the fact that I wanted to explore androgyny and gender fluidity and performing in a different vibration than I ever had before.
I think that it's really cool that you say androgyny, because one thing you're doing that I'm not doing is you have 2 personalities. One is Christopher, who's celebrating masculinity, and then you have Bayonet, which is the, boss diva type personality. Talk about Bayonet a little bit.
Sure. Bay, just your straight boss bish. And just a really confident, stand in her power, speak her truth, just proud of her body, proud of who she is. and has really strong boundaries. Boundaries being, what you will and will not accept from people and yourself as well. When you look at both Christopher and Bay, the male that I really step into, that energy is a quiet confidence, like really a humble swag. So I'm trying to flip gender roles all over the place, because a quiet male that is just energetically connected and emotionally connected. And then on top of that, my female is just very brash and bold and really confident in her sexuality. So I'm trying to take, our normal societal gender roles, if you will, and create new boxes, or not even boxes at all. Like, fuck a box.
Oh, exactly. I think as entertainers, especially in this industry, each of the characters that we create starts with our ideas. And in the way that, we bring our ideas to life and they're genuinely our own, through this podcast, I want to help other people, whatever ideas they may have, and feel like they can bring them to life as well. When we talked on the phone before this podcast, you had said that each character is like flexing a muscle. And that really resonated with me, that each character brings out different things in you and you get to exercise parts of yourself by being these characters. So tell me about each character and which, muscle they are.
So in my day job, I do a lot of coaching. Highfivefit.com, by the way, shameless plug. Hey-o.
Yes.
But with Christopher, that silent swag, or that really quiet confidence, helps me to flex muscles with emotions or with vibrations rather than with communication or words. So that's a muscle. The magnetism, the self-love, all of that stuff, all of these are muscles. Just like you would flex a bicep muscle to make it bigger, we flex our inner talk muscle, we flex our stand up for ourself muscle. And all of these were muscles that I knew I craved more connection with. Those muscles, when you're using them while you're performing, can transfer into what you do on the daily.
So, as your life as Kitty, before you started performing, like, were you struggling with something and then one day it just completely like changed for you because you had been performing?
Absolutely. As a business owner, you can't say the things that you really want to stand up for yourself, because you don't want the bad reviews. You don't want the negative, vibes. So as a business owner, it's really hard to stand in your power and create those boundaries, like as I was talking about earlier. But after stepping into the role of Christopher, after stepping into the role of Bay, and being in those energies, I then could almost bring that. For example, when someone in my business would say something that would be blatant, just asinine, I was able to find the words to stand in my power, but I wouldn't shrivel up, or I wouldn't back away from it, or I wouldn't run away from confrontation, if that connects.
Oh, absolutely. In the previous episode, I actually was just talking about having those healthy boundaries at work and in your personal life, and how drag has given me the confidence to honestly, know how I feel and then be able to speak and act on it. That's what I feel like is such an important part of what we do as performers. We are finding ourselves in ways that I guess the rest of the world doesn't, because we have that freedom to. It's that creative freedom that we have to find ourselves and figure ourselves out. So even the parts that we struggle with, we're able to become stronger because we're playing these characters, or we're putting ourselves out there in a different way. I think when you and I talked, I said, it is amazing what you will learn about yourself by being someone else. It's weird because we're being someone else, but we're also being our authentic selves. It's kind of like the secret self.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the secret self, the secret self that doesn't always come out in day to day because, society expects this and they expect us to be one way, but maybe we actually feel differently. So we get to bring that out in our art. And it's such a beautiful balance that once you gain that confidence as a performer, you can just easily transfer it to other parts of your life.
Sing it.
So,
yes.
I love that you have tapped into that and utilized that for your business, because it sounds like if you're working in empowerment, that's like a really key part of it.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up too, because I almost reached the level of how do I empower myself on a deeper level? And then I started digging into what you just mentioned was my secret self. Those things that I knew were very blatant about me, but I wasn't living them, or I wasn't showing them to other people due to judgments, due to not being accepted. But I really enjoy how you put that we find out so much of ourselves by being someone else, because you're able to pull out authentic pieces of you and be a character with them for maybe a 3-minute performance. but then you can go back to what you know.
Exactly. And I feel like the more you do it, if you can do it for 3 minutes, you can do it for 5 minutes. If you can do it for 5 minutes, you can do it for an hour. You can do it for a whole day. And then it turns into something that becomes for a lifetime.
And then you level up.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's all about leveling up. And then it's funny that the challenges as you grow as a performer, the challenges you had when you first started are not the same challenges you have in your current career. And you're overcoming those and using drag or, whatever type of performance it may be to work through those. And it's just, it's such a growing process that I hope that the listeners will just allow themselves the space to creatively explore themselves. I don't want everyone to feel like they need to hop on a stage to do this. This is something you can do in your day-to-day life. Tapping in to the secret self and those parts of yourself that are hard to let out, just go in and let them out. See what happens and develop them.
Well, and I challenge your listeners to create a character and step into it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I just didn't wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm going to do drag. It was a step-by-step process of looking really deep, like holding the mirror to myself kind of stuff. Like, what do I really want to do, be, and have? And then piece by piece, stepping more into it until you feel comfortable. And most of my characters, Lala, are my leveling up. Like you can see the level ups I've done with the characters I've created.
So I'm going to tell you, for me, I absolutely just woke up one day and said, I'm going to do drag. I thought I was revolutionary, honey. I just knew that I was going to be the next big thing. But it turns out but it turns out that other people were doing it. So when you say it's a gradual process, talk about how you built the different parts of your characters.
Sure. Christopher uses no words to speak. And that's a skill. And to be aware of your presence in the present moment is such a really profound thing and a skill. And as I continued plugging into Christopher a lot more, that became an everyday part of my life, where instead of my usual self of, hey, I'm the leader, to be able to step back and be more humble, that just created a brand new doorway or a brand new possibility of what I wanted to become.
And now your other character, Bayonet, sounds like a newer character, right?
Correct. Yes. Just last year.
Yeah. So was there something that was going on in your life that said, I'm sure that your work as Christopher Tracy has done a lot for you. Was there some point in your life when you said, okay, now I need to introduce this new character?
Yes. To get really vulnerable and authentic with you, there were things about my sexuality that I was searching for and craving more of. Christopher has the silent swag and the masculine energy, whereas Bay is the sex kitten, unapologetically original and just out there with who she is. And I craved more of that. And stepping into her helped me to become more sexual and aware of that power within myself too.
It's interesting that you say that, because one of the things that drag has helped me with is my body image and sexuality in a way. I kind of, always knew I was gay. But
you didn't wake up one day and know that?
I came out the womb. I knew. But when you're Black and plus size and gay, the world will tell you that you're undesirable in a lot of ways. And it's not a thing where like someone will come up to you and be like, hey, you're ugly. It's like you don't see yourself represented in media. And when you look at beauty ads, you don't see someone that looks like you, So when I was able to transform into this glamorous goddess, if I may say so myself, it really did help me become more confident in, my dating life, in the fact that it's like, I know I'm pretty, honey. I know it now. I did not see it before, and now, like, even without all of it, I feel so much better about myself. So,
and what I heard that you just said was that as you stepped into this drag performer, you were able to find what your powers were, or what powers you had inside of you that weren't being utilized. So it's almost like you find this personal power by stepping into a character.
Exactly. And it gives you the framework for the best version of not yourself, if that makes sense. It's not who you are, but it's like, this is what it could be, if this was amplified. It is too,
it's
but
your secret self.
Right. And it's the over amplified version of you. Now, in my day-to-day life, you got to tone it down.
You're still extra, just not too extra.
Right. Just not too extra.
Okay.
But I am still retaining that that confidence and that aura and that presence, that you're talking about
The
in my
magnetism.
day-to-day life.
Yeah.
The magnetism.
You're a magnetizing performer.
Okay, so where do you see yourself going and growing in drag in the future?
Definitely growing. Growing and learning and building. I always approach all of my characters in a beginner's mindset, always looking for something to learn. And then also I'm in the process and have just gotten a nonprofit organization started called the Bias Project, where it's going to be a themed charity event company, which is going to provide another safe space for performances, galas, fundraising events. So really, really looking into, I want to support the arts of Minneapolis as well as give back in the only way I know how, which is to perform and have fun doing it. So starting something that's bigger than myself is what I'm planning to do with my drag career soon. And BIAS is an acronym for Baby, I'm a Star.
Baby, I'm a star.
Because we're all stars, but to just have that opportunity to flex that muscle, like you just said.
So out of all the things that you've learned from being a performer, being an entrepreneur, what do you think are the greatest strengths or things you've learned that are going to help you achieve these goals?
I like that question. Thank you. I think just really realizing your energy and what you can bring to other people and being open to receiving that energy and that connection. I think what I've learned the most in the performing of these characters is that the more you're authentic with not just yourself, but other people, the better and more happy and more bright life is going to be, because you're not keeping yourself in the shadows. You're actually shining the light that you should have been all along.
I actually was just talking about Tu Wong Fu and the.
I know. I just listened to that one.
Yes.
Right,
So talking about larger than life is just the right size. So I am so excited that you have such a big goal. That's amazing to take on.
You're gonna MC for me, right, Lala?
Oh, for sure. I would love to. So you all heard it here first. I'm going to be MCing. Baby, I'm a star.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about where you're at in the process? You don't have to give anything away you don't want to. But,
no, not at all. We actually just got accepted for our 501c exempt status. That's coming to fruition a lot more quick than I thought, because I said, all right, universe, this is what I want. And he was like, all right, cool.
You know what? And that's honestly what it's about. Not being afraid to ask, yourself first. But you ask yourself what you want and you put it out there. And it's amazing how quick things will happen. If you had asked me just a couple months ago, would I be recording a podcast? I would have been like, oh, no, I'm just going to do these shows, But here I am.
Here you are.
Starting something. And here you are starting something. So I really, really look forward to hearing more about this. All right. Well, thank you for being on the show. If you want more Kitty, you can check out her podcast, Magic MF. Is that right?
It's Magic Moon Phase. Yes, Magic MF.
Yes, Magic
correct.
Moon Phase, where all fine podcasts are listened to. And you can catch us together very soon in the Twin Cities area with the Red Hot Rascals on redhotrascalsmn.com. Check us out. Watch our performances. We'll be back after Miss Rona lets us be back. And thank you so much again, Kitty.
Thank you, Lala. I appreciate you very, very much.
I will see you all next time, Snacks.
Woo!
Hey, Snack. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember, you can get every episode of Snack Size on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Let's keep the conversation going. If you have questions or feedback, don't be afraid to say hello at lala@snacksizepodcast.com. And if you want to support my podcast, head on over to paypal.me/snacksizepodcast. Until next time, go be fabulous.